Hello and welcome to my channel, Against the Grain. Today I'd like to talk to you about the big F word. No, not the other F word. Well, it might as well be the same. But election fraud. I've been hearing a lot of things in the past couple of weeks. People keep on talking about a big sting. There's a big sting happening. And in a way, I do believe there's something going on behind the scene when it comes to catching voter fraud. And I'm hoping that it is a sting. I'm hoping that they have these people on camera watching them try to steal the election. Video, audio, whatever. I hope they have it all and they release it to the public. And as the weeks went by, I start to wonder, well, if it is election fraud, how come we're not hearing like the big dumps of like catching people on video and all that other stuff that we've been hearing? I truly believe it's happening because, you know, they said the people have to see it in order to believe it. That's not always the case. Seeing is not always believing for some people. I have a friend, I could show her the words coming out of Biden's mouth, and she won't believe it. So, when a lot of stuff comes out about election fraud, all these testimonies, and all these witnesses coming forward and telling the world how they tried to steal the election, a lot of people are just not going to believe it. All the proof in the world, they're not going to believe it. But in the end, I know it's not going to matter. What's going to matter is that Trump uses the Constitution to win the election, and that's what's going to happen in the end. I don't know if it's going to get that far. Maybe something will flip before that happens. But, you know, it might get to the higher courts in order for him to win the election. And I keep hearing over and over again that the world's going to see something huge that is going to be biblical. And I have people on both sides of the MAGA movement. Some are believing and some aren't believing. And I think a lot of people are discouraged. That's what it is. You know, when you hear things that the election is going to be, we're going to win the election, and you know, we're going to have problems, but in the end, it's all going to be okay. And then when you see the media blasting all the propaganda and people at your work, family, friends telling you, you know, take the L, you know, you lost this, just go along with this, leave it alone. It's easy to get discouraged sometimes, but don't get discouraged. I'm not discouraged at all. I'm surrounded by a lot of liberal people. My families are liberal, my children are liberal. So I have to deal with this TDS on a daily basis. And I know a lot of you have to deal with it, but you will get through it. I know we will. So, like I was saying earlier, is this going to be some kind of big election sting? I truly believe it is. And it's hard when you hear people like Durham and Barr and all these people. They're, you know, we're, you know, getting information that something's going to be dropped about what the D's are doing, D class and all that stuff, and a lot of these things didn't happen. And again, people got discouraged from that. And I think that what was happening is that President Trump knows he's going to win the election. Put it that way. If he didn't know, a lot of stuff, child trafficking, you know, there's a lot of things I want to say I can't say because they will terminate me. but we know there's a lot of things happening that haven't been mentioned yet. And one of them is that when President Trump was in that COVID meeting, task force thing, basically he was talking about there was a rescue of a child by some very evil, wicked people. And he left it at that. So, do you think that President Trump, after putting a wall up, dealing with DOJ, firing Comey, McCabe, Peter Strzok, all the rest of them, do you think that he's just going to just give it up? Do you know what's going to happen if President Trump just stopped fighting and they win? First of all, I don't even think President Trump and the Patriots would take that risk if they knew they weren't going to win. Because a lot of people are going to end up seriously injured or if President Trump doesn't win. So that's another thing, that's another reason why I know he has to win, he's going to win. So President Trump has a lot of unfinished business, and I know he's going to be able to get into office and, just hopefully they'll allow him to take the gloves off, because for the past 4 years we heard about all this fake Russia. So we heard for the last 4 years how President Trump and all these people on this team, colluded with the Russians and did this and did that. And here we have all this evidence, bucket loads of evidence of the election fraud. And they're, on our case, saying that we're the crybabies and we're not just accepting the election. After 4 years of the hell that they put us through. And I know our president could have got a lot of stuff done if they weren't pulling all their shenanigans and all their schemes and, evil plans towards our president and our country. And it's so sad that we had to come to get here, to go through this, to get to where we're going to be after Trump is re-elected. But remember, it's necessary, because before President Trump was elected, a lot of people gave up. I gave up, not a lot, not all the way, but I kind of gave up a little bit on the country. I was thinking whoever's going to be elected, they're going to, pass the same old policies and don't fulfill the promises, and we're going to have to keep on going through that every 4 years. So when that happens and you don't see no progress, you get discouraged. But when President Trump came in there, got us those jobs, bought companies back, and when he told other countries, you got to take care of your own people, I'm sure the deep state was pissed off when he said that. But he was basically telling those other countries, you have to take care of your own first. What president have you ever heard say that to other countries? I haven't heard any president say that. And they hated him for that. They hate President Trump because he's tearing apart all of their avenues that they had for their deep state, whatever plans. He cut them all off. He cut the umbilical cord for all their plans. And that's another reason why the election fraud is here. Is because they know if Trump gets reelected, they're toast. So I expected them to fight hard, the Democrats to win. I know how dirty they are. I've seen how they fought in the past. I know how they don't care. Republicans, they're nice. They have values, but they don't. They just cutthroat and they don't care who they cut down. They'll throw their grandmother in the backyard just to get a vote. So they don't care. So I was expecting this. I was expecting a fight. And we had to go through this. And I think a lot of it is to help us to grow as a people. Because we forgot the power we had within ourselves to make our countries all over the world amazing. We forgot our voices. We allowed these politicians to get into office, and it's like some of us, we voted them in office, and we just let them do what they had to do. We didn't really follow them as they were, going through throwing out those policies and, going along with those deep state laws and trying to, take us all down, because they only care about themselves. They don't care about us at all. And President Trump's been telling us this right from the beginning. We, the people, not them. So I'm so grateful to have such a loving president like President Trump. I'm grateful for all you patriots out there that made me feel fantastic when I crossed over. And I will never forget that. And because you did that for me, I want to bring other people to the side of MAGA, so that they can have all the joy that I'm getting from this movement. I am so, so grateful. Thanks for listening to my video, and hope you visit me again. Thanks.